Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mount Deurklink. Now, in this episode, what I would like to build, what I think will be funny to build, is a ride somewhere here on the mountain. So it will kind of be like, if you have ever seen the Stratosphere Tower in Las Vegas, there's this ride which has like a coaster train, and it goes to the edge where it stops and then it goes back. So for the guests it will look like they're flung over the edge, but the coaster will stop right before the end. And I think something like that will also be nice to have here, like on the edge of this mountain. I'll decorate this a bit with some of these volcano rocks. But yeah, I think it would look cool if we had a station here with a track that goes slightly down to somewhere over here, and then the train should stop and go back. I think we can do that with a simple shoestring, and since we're so high up the ground, since the ground level is so high here, we should have no trouble of hiding the control track underground. So how this is gonna work? Well, I will simply make a station here. I'll make some track that goes downwards, but I will extend the track downwards into the mountain here. And here somewhere in the mountain there will be a stretch of horizontal track, and then at the end there will be a spike. So I will make the last trains of this ride, I will keep them on the track here, but using the ride vehicle editor, I will put the front vehicle or the front two vehicles of the ride underground, and because they will be on the vertical track when the trains here go down, they will actually be pulling the train. They will be slowing the train down and bringing it back to the station. Well, that might be a little bit difficult to understand, but trust me, it will make sense in a few minutes. Alright, yeah, I think I'll just get started on this ride here. Okay, I wasn't really sure what kind of vehicle I want to use for this. I think I'll go with the spiral coaster trains. I don't really use them often. I think they will look good on a ride like this. The nice thing about these spiral coaster trains is that they actually also look quite nice with the single coaster rail, or the single rail coaster track, I mean. Okay, I've set the trains now to spawn with 3 cars per train. I made the track a little bit longer backwards, just so the game is actually able to spawn the 3rd car on the train. Doesn't really matter here since we're going to move some of the trains anyway. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So first off, well, it's not a continuous circuit, so I'll just put it in powered launch without passing station. I'll give it a very low launch speed. 3 kilometers per hour should be alright. And now I'm just going to play with these settings a bit. I'm also going to move the first train forwards a bit so it's underground, and then just see how it goes. So in order to put the first train here underground, I'm pausing the game and putting it in test mode. So now the trains spawn, and using the right vehicle editor, I can now move the trains. I will actually move the last train. It's probably easier. Alright, well, I may have to add another vehicle later. if the mass of this train is not enough to stop these two from rolling down, but we'll see how it goes. I could also increase the mass of this train, but I'd rather just add another train, because it will be easier to set up like this. Okay, I will give it 0 seats, and that's just to prevent any guests from entering it. Okay, now let's see how this ride performs. Okay, it looks like I will have to move it backwards a little bit more. But so far it's looking good. With its, yeah, it's actually able to stop these trains from moving forwards too much. As you can see, the balance here is very delicate. So I'm just going to add a second vehicle here, just to offset the mass of these two vehicles a little bit more. And that should also make the weight of the guests that enter the front two cars less important. Okay, the ride seems to be working fine. Oh, there's two more issues to work out. First off, I still need to know how far it will go when there are guests in it. Well, I could do that by changing the mass of these vehicles, but I'd rather just test it with real guests. Well, yeah, that's basically it, actually. Yeah, so when I know how it performs with the guests, then I can just open the ride and start working on the station of it. And of course, after that, I'll have to I'll make these parts here invisible, and I'll hide this tunnel, etc. Oh yeah, and there's another thing to work out, and that's that it has horrible stats. So what I will probably do is just turn it into a lift, so that everybody will ride it, and then I will just make some invisible track, or I mean some visible track here, to replace the track that will become invisible here. Okay, it looks like the guest weight doesn't have a very significant effect on how far it comes. Most likely the weight of this vehicle is much more than what's added by these guests. You can actually see it by going into the ride vehicle editor and going to this ride. I believe it's called Single Rail Roller Coaster 1. Oh, that's not it. It's now called Lift 1. There we go. Yeah, the mass of the train is now 1429. That's with guests in it. Well, yeah, without guests, it's obviously a little bit less. Let's take a quick look now. Yeah, 1100. Now it's 1100. So the guests add a few hundred, but yeah, it won't really go farther than this. So I'll just remove this track piece that I made here. Alright, I think this is wonderful. Okay, I will now start making a nice queue and a little building for this ride. Maybe also some extra supports under this part. I think it will look really cool. Okay, now that it's nicely decorated here at the top, yeah, also with a nice little station and some trees and a queue. Now it's time to actually make some volcano rocks here. I will just extend this pattern that I made here. So I'll probably just take it around this area for a bit. I might make 3 rings of volcano rocks under here. Yeah, I hope that that will work out well. Alright, that will be it for this episode. So yeah, I focused on this little area over here in this episode. But I really like the way this ride looks now. It's very simple to make a ride like this yourself. You can actually see the rest of the ride underground here. And yeah, doing something like this has been made really easy with the ride vehicle editor from Basssiiie. So yeah, I really want to thank him for making such a cool plugin, and yeah, I think this is a really great addition to the summit area of the park. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.